Audio article by the Common Constitutionalist entitled, Unionization Will Kill Free Market Ride Sharing Like Uber and Lyft. If one were to look in an encyclopedia, that's like Google for old folks, for the modern-day definition or explanation of free market capitalism, beside the detailed explanation, might be the logos of the ride-sharing services Uber and Lyft. These services are the virtually unregulated, non-unionized, and less expensive versions of the taxi. This is the real free market at work, and it's proving to work quite well without government and/or thuggish union oversight. Practically anyone can become a driver for one of these services. One must be at least 21 years of age, have a 4-door sedan or equivalent, have a driver's license and insurance, a minimum of 3 years driving experience, and pass a motor vehicle and criminal background check. Do that, and you'll have yourself a part or full-time job. Uber is one of those only in America ideals that can only spawn in a free market. In less than 7 short years, the company went from triumphantly tweeting that it had made its first $5 on March 27, 2010, less than 4 months after it began, to having a worth of almost $70 billion worldwide today. Many have taken notice of the success of ride-sharing, not the least of which are unionized cab companies, which have had monopolies in every major city in America. With the backing of cab companies and their union thugs, local and state political hacks have been able to see to it that these companies maintain their monopolies. But ride-sharing has given the public another option, and more they are choosing them over the traditional taxi services. Leftist politicians and union thugs who support them have no intention of allowing this to continue, so they have declared war on ride-sharing. Many cities, such as Seattle, for example, are now attempting to unionize Uber and Lyft drivers by attempting to impose collective bargaining regulations upon the ride-share community. These hacks are also attempting to declare ride-sharing drivers to be employees instead of the independent contractors which they currently are. As one would expect, the most liberal states in the Union, such as California, New York, and Massachusetts, are also conducting assaults on ride-sharing. A quote from thenation.com, quote, "A ruling issued in October by the New York State Department of Labor could set a major precedent by designating the drivers eligible for unemployment benefits, establishing their status as workers, not contractors." Yes, workers of the world unite, don't you know? In California, the Labor Commission has also set a precedent by validating the jobless benefit claims of at least 2 Uber drivers. And in Massachusetts and California, a massive lawsuit involving 385 ride-sharing drivers is being litigated in federal court, challenging the classification of independent contractors. Why are the states doing this? Don't they like competition? Well, no, they're socialists. Socialists abhor competition. But it's not just that. As with most things, it comes down to following the money. Private sector unions like the Teamsters have been hemorrhaging membership dues for years. Every year these unions command less of America's workforce, and without gazillions of dollars of confiscated union dues at their disposal, they find themselves less able to influence politicians. The corrupt political class is then less likely to do their bidding. With a withering workforce and facing growing guaranteed pension pressures, unions are swinging for the fences. As Jim Swift of the Weekly Standard said, these unions think they have found their savior. They don't care about ruining a great American free market concept as long as they get their money and regain their influence. He says that the unions have put a new spin on an old saying, if you can't beat 'em, make them join you. Thank you for listening.